Hello everyone, and welcome to my Young and the Restless official 24 channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. It's possible that Holden Novak and Claire Newman's brief excursion to Los Angeles ignited more than just romance. It might have set off a ticking time bomb that could soon blow up Genoa City. The rumors are getting louder. Is Claire carrying Holden's child? One of the Young and the Restless most startling and poignant plots in recent memory might swiftly develop from what started off as a seductive, impetuous night of desire. Holden and Claire's relationship was already fraught with peril, secrecy, and temptation, but now there's a very real chance that their sultry LA meeting may result in unanticipated baby drama that upends every family in the community. They were two people drawn together by circumstances, attraction, and the mayhem around them, and their night together on October 31st was meant to be nothing more than an escape. However, desire always has a cost in the world of Genoa City. Claire may be facing an unexpected future after attempting to restore her life following years of mental turmoil and betrayal. And if a kid comes into the picture, Holden, with his sinister charm and shadowy past, might be permanently bound to the Newmans. One night in a hotel room, one rash choice, could change their fates. It's important to keep in mind that a single encounter is sufficient in soap operas. The authors frequently construct whole storylines around one-night-only scenarios that have long-term repercussions. Pregnancies that start out as mysteries, love triangles complicated by paternity testing, and families split apart by one terrible night are all familiar to viewers. Claire has a very real chance of getting pregnant, and if she does, there could be serious consequences. Fans are aware that using protection rarely prevents a dramatic pregnancy twist, even if Holden and Claire did. It's the most popular plot element in the genre for holding viewers' attention. Drama, after all, feeds on disorder, and what could be more emotionally upsetting than Claire learning she is expecting Holden's child? The show has already hinted to this possibility in subtle ways. Claire had been having trouble with the idea of love, family, and control, as seen by her ferocious response to Kyle Abbott's casual discussion about marriage and children back in September. Her annoyance at Kyle's quip about not yet having a family suggested that she isn't as optimistic about her future as she seems. Irony has now completed a full circle. Kyle's cautions about Claire's impetuous behavior will come back to bother her if she finds out she is pregnant by Holden. Kyle has been making a valiant effort to win her back, to demonstrate to her that he can provide her with security and love without the instability that comes with someone like Holden. However, Kyle's heart may be permanently broken by Claire's choice to flee to Holden and lose herself in that passionate moment. Kyle won't be the only one impacted. One of the most influential people in Genoa City and Claire's mother, Victoria Newman, has been privately concerned about her daughter's inconsistent decisions. Victoria has seen her fair share of grief, pregnancies, and betrayals, so she is well aware of the perilous nature of hasty relationships. She will be devastated to see her daughter fall into the same trap. If Claire is found to be pregnant, Victoria will have to decide whether to support her daughter's choice or intervene to shield her from a man like Holden, whose intentions might not be as good as they appear. Holden, on the other hand, might be concealing a lot more than he is revealing. There is no denying his chemistry with Claire, but there are concerns about his relationship with Audra Charles. It can't be a coincidence that Audra's name keeps coming up every time Holden's secrets are brought up. Audra has a history of dishonesty, manipulation, and leveraging relationships. Claire may be unknowingly entering a trap if she and Holden have a secret motive. Additionally, she will be eternally ensnared in that web if she is pregnant. When Claire learns the truth, that Holden's love for her was a part of a bigger plan, or that he has been collaborating with Audra behind the scenes to influence the Newmans, imagine the destruction. If she is carrying his child, the emotional toll would be particularly severe. It would be beautiful, and sad, to watch Claire regret giving in to her impulses only after learning of Holden's deceit, as viewers are aware that YNR feeds on irony. Despite her impetuous nature, Claire possesses a strong core. She has often shown herself to be resilient, and this plot could be a crucial moment in her development. She could have to face her own ideals if she becomes pregnant, including what type of life she wants to lead, what kind of person she wants to be, and whether she is prepared to fight for her independence even if she is married to a guy who has deceived her. Holden would also be put to the test. Would he welcome fatherhood, or would he withdraw, afraid to take accountability for his deeds? His response will reveal all about his true nature. According to some fans, Holden might surprise everyone by taking the initiative and demonstrating true love and devotion for Claire and their prospective child. Others anticipate the opposite, that he will take advantage of the circumstance to increase his authority by controlling Claire's feelings. In any case, high-stakes drama is inevitable. Naturally, Kyle would respond violently. The man has experienced sorrow after heartbreak, so losing Claire to Holden and perhaps finding out that she is expecting his rival's child would be too much for him to handle. The darker, more erratic part of Kyle's personality that fans have already glimpsed could spiral out of control. Even worse, he might work with Audra to exact revenge on Holden in ways that would have dire repercussions. An additional level of meaning is added by the Los Angeles setting. Claire was swept away by the thrill and peril of something new, and she allowed herself to be vulnerable away from the comfortable familiarity of Genoa City. She might now return home in the most surprising way from her one night of freedom. The City of Angels may have given her a brief taste of pleasure, but it may also have sealed her doom. There will be emotional repercussions for several families if Claire starts exhibiting pregnancy symptoms. Victoria is going to confront Holden and demand an explanation. Holden will be accused by Kyle of exploiting Claire. In an attempt to further harm Claire, Audra will probably interfere and make subtle allusions to her relationship with Holden. And the father himself, Victor Newman, might choose to step in and defend his granddaughter by whatever means necessary. Another Newman power maneuver might easily use a baby associated with Holden Novak as a pawn. Another concern is how Claire might respond to the news. She has already embarked on a path of self-discovery, re-establishing contact with her original family and attempting to find her place in a society that continuously condemns her for her past. Those difficulties would be tenfold increased with a pregnancy. Would she consider it a curse or an opportunity to make a fresh start? Would she consider leaving Holden to raise the child on her own terms, or would she decide to retain the baby? There are countless options, and every decision has a great deal of emotional weight. Holden's reputation may also change depending on how he handles the circumstance. He's fascinating, enigmatic, and dangerously attractive right now. But his behavior will define him if Claire gets pregnant. Will he truly fall in love with Claire and the prospect of starting a family, or will he expose his true nature as a manipulator? It's plausible that Holden will fall into that gray area, loving Claire but making awful choices that nonetheless harm her, because the show's creators enjoy blurring moral boundaries. Another important aspect of all this is the timing. A pregnancy twist may entwine the arcs of all the main characters into a single, explosive tale, just as other significant stories involving Kyle, Victoria, and Audra intensify. A kid created in Los Angeles has the potential to be the most potent secret in Genoa City, which lives on secrets. Things might quickly become ugly if Holden tries to conceal the pregnancy or coerce Claire into keeping it a secret. Fans are already speculating as to how the revelation might take place. Will Claire initially confide in Sienna, the friend who forewarned her about Holden? Or will Kyle unintentionally learn the truth, leading to another of YNR's famous thrilling confrontations? Before the truth is revealed, there is even conjecture that Claire may first believe Kyle to be the father, resulting in a traditional soap opera paternity twist. The dichotomy between truth and dream forms the emotional center of this plot. Claire's life in Los Angeles was a glamorous, passionate diversion from her troubles. However, reality strikes hard when she gets back to Genoa City. Public rumors, family criticism, and pregnancy tests are all very different from that opulent hotel suite. We will discover Claire's true self and the kind of future she will strive for in that harsh reality. It will be interesting to observe Victoria's response as well. She is a true Newman, accustomed to dominance and power, but she is weak when it comes to her daughter. Depending on how she responds to it, this circumstance could either soften or harden her. She can become enraged with Holden and threaten to ruin him for abusing Claire. Alternatively, she could attempt to gently mentor Claire, assisting her in navigating the same emotional storms that Victoria has experienced. In the end, this possible pregnancy plot could change the arcs of several characters. Claire would go from being a victim of her circumstances to a woman compelled to make mature decisions that would have long-term effects. Kyle would either lose himself in resentment or overcome it, demonstrating his maturity, while Holden would have to face the mess he's created. In the meantime, the Newman family would be rocked once more, demonstrating that scandal always threatens their private lives regardless of their level of power. We can't help but be fascinated as viewers. The emotional build-up, symbolic allusions, and the intense Halloween night in Los Angeles are all clues. Dramatic irony is a key component of soap operas, and this arrangement is perfect for a memorable twist. The next wave of drama may be driven solely by the fear of pregnancy, causing all the characters to make decisions that put their hearts and allegiances to the test, regardless of whether the baby is ultimately discovered to exist or not. For the time being, the question remains, was everything changed by that night in Los Angeles? Did Claire Newman and Holden Novak unknowingly build a life together? If this is the case, Genoa City is about to see an unprecedented storm that will reverberate for months to come. The storm is the result of passion, secrets, and one careless choice. There is no doubt that if Claire is pregnant, the consequences will completely alter her relationship with Holden, shatter Kyle's tenuous optimism, and rock the Newman family as a whole. The city that never sleeps on drama is about to awaken to a fresh controversy in classic Young and the Restless fashion, and it all began with a passionate night in Los Angeles. The entire basis of Claire Newman's new existence might collapse, or change into something quite different, if the rumors are accurate and she becomes pregnant following her passionate night with Holden Novak in Los Angeles. The very notion of Claire bearing Holden's child sets off a chain reaction that would rock Genoa City. These days, it's not only about love or betrayal, it's also about morals, legacy, and the type of woman Claire wants to be in the future. This plot might, in many respects, be the pivotal moment in Claire's redemption journey. She has been working for months to demonstrate that she is no longer the weak, easily swayed young woman who succumbed to Jordan's charms. She was welcomed and given the stability she had always desired by Victoria and the Newman family. However, Holden arrived at precisely the wrong, or even the most disastrous, time. He rekindled Claire's desire for risk, passion, and the kind of thrill that her meticulously restored existence was unable to offer. It was all about freedom that night in Los Angeles. However, independence frequently comes with a price, and Claire might soon learn that she gave up short-term enjoyment for long-term accountability. Holden would also have to confront the intensity of his bond with Claire if he were to get pregnant. Chemistry, secrecy, and a shared need to get away from their suffering were the foundations of their relationship rather than trust. Holden gave the impression that he understood her, didn't condemn her past, and didn't demand perfection. Can that kind of bond, however, endure the harsh reality of pregnancy? Holden doesn't seem like a man who does well under pressure, and parenthood isn't glamorous. He might be just as afraid of being a father as Claire is. Fans have started to see Holden's concealed fragility, though. Beneath the self-assurance and attractiveness, there is a man with personal issues that may be related to Audra Charles and any covert plans the two have been involved in. When Holden learns that Claire is carrying his child, it may serve as the emotional compass that ultimately forces him to abandon his deceitful way of life. The infant might be the catalyst for Holden's positive transformation, turning him from a nomadic opportunist into a person capable of genuine love and selflessness. However, nothing is ever that easy in The Young and the Restless. Holden will face significant opposition, particularly from the Newmans, if he truly wants to act morally. As soon as they learn that Claire is expecting Holden's child, Victoria, Nick, and even Victor will band together. Holden is seen by them as a threat and an outsider. Victoria might think he's using her daughter as leverage or as a way to become a part of the Newman family. A Newman war against him, complete with extortion, manipulation, and legal threats, may be sparked by that fear alone. And then there's Kyle Abbott, who is probably going to be one of this drama's most unstable characters. Claire has already been driven away by Kyle's envy, and once he learns of the pregnancy, his incapacity to get past their failed relationship could turn into an obsession. Rejection from Summer, Audra, and now Claire has completely upended his sense of self. Kyle might not be able to bear the embarrassment if Holden and Claire wind up having a child. Fans can picture him approaching Holden in the most dramatic manner imaginable, with accusations flying through the air and fists flying. The irony in this situation is that Kyle had valid concerns. From the start, he had a feeling that Holden was terrible trouble, that something sinister was hiding behind his charm. It might be too late for Claire to avoid the repercussions if Kyle's suspicions regarding Holden's covert relationships to Audra or his ulterior intentions come to pass. She can feel caught between two men, one who delights her but undermines her stability, and another who loves her but suffocates her. Claire's possible pregnancy will put her to the ultimate emotional test. Although viewers have already witnessed her deal with pain and deception, this is unique. Pregnancy reveals unadulterated vulnerability. Given how damaged her own childhood was, the thought of having a kid will make Claire face all of her scars. She can begin to doubt her own capacity for protection, nurturing, and love. She could be overcome by the anxiety of making the same mistakes that characterized her past. Ironically, though, this might also be her best opportunity for atonement. The prospect of Claire, who was once thought to be a lost soul, becoming a mother has a poetic quality. She may be able to recover and give someone else the unconditional love she was never given if she accepts the pregnancy. Additionally, Victoria would find reflections of her younger self in her daughter, which would make her softer and more sympathetic. Victoria understands what it's like to fall in love with the wrong man and become pregnant under difficult circumstances. Love and control have always been at odds in her relationship with Victor and, subsequently, with the fathers of her children. She would now have to lead Claire through the same tempest while maintaining her composure. However, none of this would sit well with Victor Newman. He has a reputation for being fiercely protective of his family, and if he believes Holden has put Claire's future in danger, he will retaliate with his usual brutality. Fans can almost see the scene, Victor calling Holden to his office and telling him that he will regret hurting Claire or his prospective great-grandchild in a cold, exact voice. Naturally, Holden is not the kind to give up easy. Their unavoidable conflict may lead to a power battle that transcends interpersonal bounds and into the corporate sector, where Victor is skilled at subduing his rivals. Audra Charles would, in the meantime, find a way to get involved in the mayhem as there are opportunities everywhere there is scandal. She might use Claire's pregnancy as leverage if she and Holden have a romantic, financial, or other secret. Because of her skill at deception, Audra might distort the story to imply that she was romantically connected with Holden at the same time. That would set up a traditional YNR paternity mystery in which the true father is unknown until a dramatic DNA test reveal. Claire would be devastated by the emotional fallout from such a twist. Imagine thinking you've discovered love and then learning that your partner may be involved with your adversary as well. All of the work she has made since getting back together with her family could be undone by the treachery, which would put her into a downward spiral. Her loneliness, her remorse, and her battle to find courage in the face of public scrutiny might all be explored in the program. If verified, the baby would also completely change Holden's relationship with the Newmans. He would be bound to them indefinitely, whether he wants it or not. Everyone engaged could be at risk from that link. The Newmans are difficult to forgive, and Holden's presence would constantly cause conflict, not only with Victoria and Kyle but also possibly with Nick and Adam, who would view him as a danger to the harmony of the family. Holden may be able to take advantage of the pregnancy. He may view the baby as a means of gaining power if his intentions are as sinister as some supporters believe. He may claim to be Claire's devoted spouse, pledging to support her while surreptitiously planning to take advantage of the circumstance to improve his social and financial standing. After all, power comes with being the father of a Newman heir, even if that successor is illegitimate. By portraying himself as a loving father who was wrongfully persecuted by the Newmans, Holden was able to influence popular sympathy. Holden appears to be the kind of man who enjoys publicity, and it's the kind of controversy the tabloids would relish. However, there's also a possibility that the pregnancy will ignite something real within him. Redeeming arcs are a common theme in soap operas, and Holden may surprise everyone by genuinely embracing fatherhood. Claire and the audience would be caught between fearing and trusting him, which would further confuse matters. Naturally, Kyle would be unable to go. He may attempt to persuade Claire that Holden is abusing her by requesting a paternity test prior to the birth of the child. His tendency towards possessiveness could have disastrous results. In his desperation, Kyle may even reveal Holden's relationship with Audra, not understanding that doing so could be more detrimental to Claire than beneficial. Every action Kyle takes to save her could make her more distressed. Claire's feelings would become erratic as the weeks went by. Uncertain of what to do, she might initially conceal the pregnancy. Her closest confidant, Sienna, might be the first to notice Claire's weariness or nausea. It would be a raw and emotional scene when Sienna finally confronted her. Claire may cry and admit that she is unsure whether to tell Holden or even keep the kid. Reminding her that secrets inevitably surface in Genoa City, Sienna, always the voice